So today we're going to start with a warm-up. This will be warm-up series number 1. I'll have 2 more of these to lead you into March, where from March 1 we'll just begin right with the kind of classic syllabus exercises. So these warm-ups are movements and exercises that could be used on their own. They're really lovely in terms of just getting students and yourself to feel into your breath and your core and some movement patterns that are going to be needed for the coming exercises. So I often use these warm-up movements as a good part of my programming with people, depending on where they're at in their journey, and also just as a lovely resource to come back to, because if nothing else, we want to build a strong foundation, right? And so these warm-up movements really start right back at the beginning with that foundation. So I use them often. So I hope you'll enjoy this little series. Let's start today together working with our breath. We're going to look at 4 movements that are part of the warming up pattern. And the breath work is one of the key things that we obviously want to include and improve in our Pilates practice. So hands on the outside of the rib cage. We want to think about expanding the ribs out to the side as you breathe in. We breathe in through the nose, feel the rib cage expanding laterally. And as you exhale out through your mouth, feel the ribs closing. Inhale again, let the ribs expand to the side like an opening accordion. And the exhalation, the ribs close. And they funnel slightly down and towards your pelvis. Let's do that twice more. Breathing in, let the rib cage expand. Breathing out, feel the connection of the abdominal muscles. So we get a little more specific with closing and connecting the low abdomen. One more time. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Now with our pelvic movements, these little rocking pelvis articulations or pelvic rocks helps us to get a feeling of moving through the low spine, and also helps us to start to create awareness around how to use the core to move into our more stable positions. So as we come into a forward rock, we're inhaling, and as we exhale, we'll tip the pelvis back. So it's a little pelvic tilt, forward and back. And you're following the breath that you just learned, inhaling and then exhaling. So breathing into the ribs, let the pelvis rock forward. Breathing out through the mouth, bring the pelvis back. And as you do this a few more times, you'll start to feel that idea of the low abdomen connecting, I hope, a little more. So I'm trying to not push too much with my feet, not really squeezing from the bum, but more about making the work or the movement really happen from how the pelvis moves on your back, how the core brings those points together. So we'll do one more. Good. And sometimes in the exercises, we'll refer to those positions as being an imprint or being in a pelvic tilt, a posterior tilt, an imprint, versus being neutral or being level. So one has a little curve underneath your low spine. The other one, we have a little bit more connection and shortened distance in the front, activating those abdominals, and the low back, therefore, will feel like it's on the mat. But I'm not trying to push too hard. So that's the difference. It's not a forcing, but it's more of that gathering. Okay? Great. So if we take now the idea of the breath and the pelvis and add a little bit of a hip release. This is the next stage of our warm-up, getting some more movement through the hip joints now. And it's a little hip release, which is a circle pattern. The knee can drop out to the side and then slide down the mat and then turn in and slide home. So as the leg rotates out and slides away, I'm breathing in And as I turn my leg bone and bring it back, I'm breathing out. So we've got an inhale down and an exhale coming home. So again, breathe into the ribs, expand that lung capacity. As you exhale, feel the closure of the ribs, a little more connection to the deep abdomen. One more time, inhale and exhale. Good. Now let's do the same leg, but we'll start the circle in the opposite direction. So this can be difficult. People have a lot of tightness in the inner groin, so just see how it works for you. The goal is to create more freedom in the hip socket, but the pelvis itself shouldn't be moving. So now this leg bone that I'm going to start, I turn it in. So there's a rotation inward. I slide my foot straight down the mat. Leg is still turned in, and then I rotate it out and pull back up. Little circle. It rotates in as it slides down, and it rotates out as we come home. We're breathing. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. One more time, thinking about the pelvis, just staying nice and steady, and the leg bone circling in the hip socket. All right, let's do the other leg. So again, pelvis is level. We feel that the breath can be nice and wide, expanding through the ribs. So breathe in, let the knee open, slide the foot down. Now turn the leg bone, and as you exhale, feel the ribs close, the abdomen connect, and then off we go again. Slow and controlled, circling the leg down and back up. If you feel yourself rocking in your pelvis, then two things are happening, right? You're allowing the weight of your leg maybe to move too quickly and it's just pulling you over. So especially if you've got some maybe weakness or looseness in the hips and core, that might be happening. So just bring in a little smaller movement. And the other thing is to, again, work from your center. So work from your deep abdominal wall. Let's go the other way. And if you forget when to breathe, that's a common distraction to people. So I always say, when in doubt, breathe out. Okay, that's going to help you feel the connection of your core muscles more, which is what we're trying to cultivate. So when in doubt, breathe out. Feel that rib slightly closing, abdominals gathering, and then take your next inhale and exhale. Okay, good. And we'll pause there. So let's roll over to our side. We'll do our third warm-up exercise for today, and it's called spinal rotation. So the job of the warm-up in our Pilates programming, and again, like I said, even on its own as a nice little series of movements, is to help to mobilize all of the parts of the spine, the hips and shoulders that we're going to be strengthening and moving more into in our main exercises. So this one, spinal rotation, is to get some more upper back and rib cage mobility. So I'm sitting on my imaginary chair here. My knees are bent, my abdominals are gathered softly in, so I'm not sagging into my waist or tucking my bum under. Okay, find a nice long spine. And then you can have a pillow under your head or your hand, so you've got something to support your head. Your free arm is going to be in front of you. Just imagine it's resting on a countertop. As you inhale, we'll reach the arm up and start to turn your eyes to look at the hand. Then on the exhale, we start to rotate back around the ribs, letting the upper spine turn. Wherever you get to, breathe. And then exhale to come home. So the inhale, we lift the arm, but careful we don't just throw the arm behind us. This is still connected, feeling steady. And now we turn around the spine, the ribs, the chest. The eyes follow the hand. Breathe again. Exhale to come home. Let's do it one more time. So breathing in, let that breath really open you up, stretching and lifting. And then on the exhale, can you feel your stomach muscles again, pulling in, and then rotate around your spine. Breathe here. And exhale to come home. All right, let's do those to our second side. Spinal rotation going the other way and open up through that side. You might feel very different things happening for you on the right and left side. We all have our stronger sides, our more dominant side, maybe something that's been injured in the past. So it's really about staying mindful to what you're doing so you can just be thoughtful to the process. That's a really big piece of Pilates. So it's not just a fast moving sort of thoughtless process. So as you breathe in, lift the arm, start to rotate your chest, look at the hand. As you breathe out, rotate back away from the front of the mat, stretching. Breathe again, and then exhale to come home. We've got lots of time in the movement. This allows the breath and the body to really find this nice relationship where they support each other. Breathing in again. Exhaling to come back. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, reach up, turn your eyes, look at the hand. Exhale, rotate back. Stay and breathe again. And exhale to come all the way home. Wonderful. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow for our next series of the warm-up stretches and moves to get us prepared for our March Madness. We'll have 2 more days of our warm-up exercises. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.